How to write a repeatable, high converting six-figure webinar, even if you've never written one before or if you failed at it. Okay. By the end of this video, you will know exactly how to create a unique presentation that will book out your sales team's calendar. All right. And let me ask you a question first. Have you ever wished you could go back in time to the golden age of webinars around 2008 or 2012, when webinars converted ridiculously well and people weren't burned by them yet? Right? So literally, like, as you can see, Jeff Walker's product launch formula back then. Well, then I've got good news for you, because this video is your time machine. Barely anyone is doing this yet, okay? This opportunity is like having Jason Flalian come in and write your webinar. Okay, the GOAT of webinars. You should see his book behind me there. Or Alex Hormozi, who's, by the way, following Jason Flalian's framework and has even Jason Flalian come in and write his webinar for him, who's just recently pulled in $105 million with a live event for his last book launch. Well, the truth is, webinars aren't that anymore. They're gaining momentum again, like a pendulum, okay? And while most high-ticket businesses are still relying on VSL or DM funnels from 2021, okay, market leaders like Iman Gadzhi, Jeremy Haynes, or Brock Holmes, or whichever industry you're probably in right now, are seizing an opportunity that most high-ticket businesses are missing. They're tapping into an audience that is desperate for live events, authenticity, and trust. Okay. Iman Gadzhi has just recently generated millions with his last AI income workshop. And depending on the time when you're currently watching this video, he's about to do it again or has already done it. Okay. And how can we now actually get a piece of that juicy webinar pie? Well, most high-ticket businesses still think webinars are only for natural presenters or amazingly good speakers. The truth is, a live event is only as good as the copy and flow of the presentation, okay? So make sure to keep watching to learn how to write a six-figure webinar just by following our proven system. Once the presentation is dialed in, once the copy is dialed in, literally everyone can sit down for 2 hours and speak to a camera, right? Literally everyone can do this and host a webinar to massively convert and hoover qualified leads that didn't close in the past from your DM or VSL funnel. This is like literally what a webinar is about and why it works so well. You too, okay? And I know that some of you right now have a great product, but you're failing to convey your product's value in your current marketing. You're struggling with bad lead quality, probably. Your sales team keeps complaining, leads aren't warm enough. Yada, yada, yada. We've all heard this before in the past, right? They have a lot of trust issues, maybe. They need to think about it, talk to their spouse, but never come back. And there might already be a lot of leads in your pipeline right now. You have a big email list, you're seeing good open rates, okay, you're getting great engagement, but for any reason, actual conversions stay poor and far below expectations. Your leads, I don't know, just seem to hate buying for any reason, okay? And when you take a look at other businesses in the same exact niche, okay, you see them talk about six-figure events and just keep wondering why you can't do the same. Or maybe you've even tried running a webinar before in the past, but the results were far below what you've expected. No retentions, low booking rates, and leads just weren't in buying mood. I think you may have experienced this before. Okay. And I know how it feels. Like literally, our first webinars didn't always go as expected. And based on that, we've made our iterations and improvements, okay, to the framework that I'm presenting you right now. The problem wasn't you. It wasn't your ICP, right, that you're in a bad market or bad niche. It wasn't your offer. Maybe it was your sales team. This is another reason, okay? But mainly, the main thing, the heart, was the webinar, the presentation. The presentation itself was probably the problem, okay? You just weren't in the right vehicle. You were in the wrong one. But today, we're going to put an end to this. By the end of this video, you will know exactly how to write high converting presentations that guarantee a 75 to 85% retention rate. We've never fallen around, below 75% until the pitch. Okay, this is something we're going to talk about right now. You will learn the exact 9-step webinar framework that we've used to generate multiple 6 figures for our clients in the past, and how you can turn one single presentation into a lasting, evergreen sales asset that you can even integrate in your current sales process. Okay, you will learn how to book out your sales team's calendar, hit a record month, and deal with mostly highly qualified leads. And at the end, I will even show you how to get access to our free 30 winning webinar hooks, okay? And so basically the exact hooks that we've used to keep retention high in the past and generate multiple 6 figures with webinars for our clients. And I'll hand you them for free, okay? This is basically like keeping in mind that the hook is the most important part of your entire webinar. This is insanely valuable. Before we begin, just imagine how it feels to wake up to a sales team with a calendar full of booked calls, taking a glance into Slack and watching the payment succeeded automations come in there from Zapier or whatever you're using, okay? After last night's webinar, having hundreds of people personally thank you for taking their money after an amazing presentation in the webinar, that in the DMs, in your WhatsApp group, on Telegram, wherever, okay? And being able to let go of agencies that have burned your money before in the past, making unrealistic promises. Is this worth investing the next 40 minutes of your time? Be honest. Drop a yes in the chat if it is. All right, seeing a lot of yeses. Perfect. And if you're still wondering who is this blonde guy here to teach me about webinars, well, together with my business partner, we've run multiple webinars across 6 different niches. You can see all the presentations there below, for example. Okay. Including a Black Friday webinar 2 months ago that pulled in $134,900 cash collected. Okay, cash collected. A 38.5% show-up rate for a completely cold audience and generated at 8.3x ROAS. Okay, this was a mainly completely cold webinar, and it literally generated us like $135,000 cash collected, okay, and $167,000 revenue from one single webinar that was completely cold, okay. Our show-up system even led to a 62% show-up rate. This was a warm webinar, to be honest, okay. Well, it was basically the same exact show-up system that we've used for a cold one. Obviously, you will get a far better show-up rates for warm webinars, okay? And we've also managed to cut the CPL, the cost per lead, in half for one client's webinar campaign. It was burned by another agency. We went in there, adjusted the creative messaging, tailored it to the post and Ramadan messaging, called out qualified leads, and even lowered the cost per result through a creative variety, through better ads, and a better webinar campaign at all, okay? And we've generated multiple 6 figures through our webinars in the past. We're experienced in B2B webinars, in warm webinars, in B2C webinars, in cold webinars, in direct-to-card webinars, in book-a-call webinars, with a ticket range from $600 to $10,000. Okay, so I think it's fair to say that we know a thing or two about writing a successful webinar. Good. Let's get into things, okay? The objective of a webinar funnel isn't to replace your VSL. It's to revive and hoover leads in your pipeline that didn't close. It adds a new conversion mechanisms through massive trust, a 1-hour proof value training part, seeing you live and actively interacting with you. Like, just imagine people are actually getting in there, they see you live, they're talking to you, you're reading out their names on the chat, and they see you live for 2 hours. Just imagine how much trust this can build, okay? And therefore, a webinar has seen by far the highest PIF rate and ROAS that we've seen in the past so far, leads to an overall funnel conversion boost. Most people think, oh, webinar or VSL. Now we go with the hybrid model. Ideally, we have a good VSL in place, and then through the nurturing that the webinar brings in through the entire funnel, the VSL conversion will be far higher because people will be already pre-nurtured and they just need an edge, okay, to get off the fence. And this is what a webinar is more or less doing. And also, a webinar replicates the entire organic sales process. It's like literally the best thing to run cold, because just imagine you're getting a completely cold lead in your pipeline, right? And you're showing them instantly a 2-hour webinar presentation where they see you live. So they know you for 1 week, see you live for 2 hours, and will be much more likely to buy than after watching a 10-minute pre-recorded video, okay? Just think about it. Some leads need more than this. Okay, the webinar is the final edge that gets them off the fence. It makes your VSL funnel much more profitable through the nurturing process. And yeah, again, as I said, just think about how much more likely you would be to buy from a person that you've seen live before. It's just how human psychology works. Well, let me just check. If I'm still recording, amazing. As you can see, we're building our webinars custom in Canva. Well, you don't need to choose between a webinar funnel and the VSL funnel. As I said, think of them as a left wing and the right wing player or football team, okay? Both are essential. They just have different strong feet and different strengths to score. Is everything making sense so far? Give me a yes in the chat. Let me see if we're on the same page. If it makes sense so far, why you should run a webinar, okay? Cool. See a lot of yeses. All right, Tim just put in a yes. Let's go. Cool. Let's move on. Well, with the exact 9-step framework that I'll be revealing in just a second, you no longer need to be a natural born copywriter or an amazing speaker or worry about how your presentation will perform. You don't need to stress about low engagement or a crowded webinar market. Oh, wow, everyone is running webinars. Yeah, but 99% are complete bullshit, okay? Or about not having enough time or creativity to create a good webinar. And at the end of this video, I will even reveal the bonus and offer structure that work best for all of our webinars across our clients. So you will know how to increase your offer's perceived value by structuring it in a way that performs extremely well in all of our webinars, okay? And how to actually when to pitch, where to pitch, and what to pitch. Well, let's start with the hook. Let's get right into it. Without a proper hook, people will leave your webinar because it just looks like all the other stuff they attended before. You fail to catch your audience's retention and bring them in the right state of mind, okay? It's like dating, like literally, to be honest, okay? You step in a date room with a girl, she's sitting there, and the first thing that she sees, or your partner, whatever, okay, if you're boy or girl, doesn't matter, it's the fragrance, it's the look, it's the first sentence, the icebreaker, how you're breaking the ice, okay? And if your first impression sucks, leads will instantly know what they can expect from your webinar and probably won't like it. You need a unique, exciting hook that causes a pattern interrupt. Don't be boring, okay? Make it unique, really. Make the hook feel big. It should make them aware of something that they didn't know or misunderstood. You can actually start with a belief shift right in the hook. The hook is where you should invest most of your time in. If it sucks, people will click off and the rest of your training will have a much lower leverage because there will be less people in the room. Makes sense, right? So how can we write an appealing hook, you might be asking? Well, good copywriting is 100% dependent on your ICP, so I'm not giving you a one-size-fits-all template, because there simply is none. Yeah, at the end of the webinar, I will give you 30 winning hooks that you can use as an inspiration, but I won't promise you they will work for your webinar because it's dependent on who you're talking to, what awareness level they are. And everyone who's telling you something else just doesn't know how copywriting works, to be honest. Okay? But one thing that I can say you is what we always like to do is to hook them with the big industry opportunity. This especially works well for a colder audience. Okay. Use real data, statistics, borrow authority from market leaders. Okay. So, like, if you're in the e-commerce space, a big e-commerce brand that's doing the same exact thing that you're doing right now, or any trend that you can see on Amazon or whatever, okay, and make them feel an entire industry shift. You should make it feel big, or like something they shouldn't miss. Okay. Ideally, use proof and compare this opportunity to something they've already missed before. This way, they will make sure, like, oh man, if I've invested in Bitcoin back then, right, look where I'd be right now. And if this opportunity is similar to Bitcoin, just make sure your audience attention is there, okay, and they really want to listen to what you have to say. Well, once you've done that, it's time to build a real connection with them. And we do this through pain. 80% of presenters skip this part. And as a result, people don't feel seen, and your solution won't land. Because without pain, there's no emotional reason to act right now. Pain builds trust because people feel actually understood. As you say normally, there's a saying: wake them up from the nightmare before you sell them the dream. Let them feel the full weight of their current situation, okay? Put them on the weight west for the workout, okay? Let them feel the full weight of their situation. People join because something in their business or in their life isn't working, and they're actively looking for a solution, okay? I can't think of another reason why someone would join a workshop if they, I don't know, like maybe entertainment, but mostly there is something that's working wrong in their life. And if you have a good messaging, a good pre-webinar messaging, you will be calling out these people, okay? So don't provide the solution yet, but recognize their pain and make them feel understood, accepted, build a real connection with them. They should really think like, oh man, this feels like a friend talking to me who actually understands me. Be very, very, very detailed in describing their pain. How does a normal day look like for them? What keeps them awake at night? What are they thinking about at 3 a.m.? Okay. What do they complain about when they talk to a friend or family? What false beliefs are holding them back? False beliefs about themselves, about your solution or business model or whatever you're selling or your service, okay? Or about the industry that is holding them back. Identify every single reason or limiting belief that stops them from taking action. Like, really, take 1 to 2 hours before writing the webinar for deep ICP research. If you're the offer owner, you probably should already know that, but again, remind yourself of their pain points. This is so important. Like what we always do, we create AI documents, put them in a Manus or notebook or whatever, and just make them analyze the pain points, and then I'm asking them, yo, what are the main pain points from this ICP? And then I'm also thinking about this myself. If I was in their exact situation, how would I feel? And based on that, you're writing the entire copy of the webinar. You need to do this. Offer and ICP research is so crucial. Use preemptive strikes to crush their objections before they even arise, okay? So an example could be, if you would be an Amazon seller, I know you might be thinking, I can't build an e-commerce brand because I don't own a warehouse. Well, here's Amazon FBA. Use Fulfillment by Amazon. Leverage their billion-dollar infrastructure. You don't even need to touch the product physically. Amazon takes it from the supplier and ships it right in front of your customer store. As an example, okay? So you crush their objections. You empty their ammo, okay? Speak in their very own language, and your message will resonate even more. Use the exact words they are using. Leads will like and trust you way more and will be eager to buy. As you can see, there's the book Influence from Robert Cialdini that I put in there. This is basically an amazing way of how human psychology works, how you can build familiarity, authority, how you can be real. And I'm telling you, like, as you should already know, be real, be authentic, don't lie, don't fake stuff. Just, if you can help people, help them. Can you see how important it is to address pain first? Drop a yes in the chat if you can see that. All right, seeing a lot of yeses coming in. All right, Dave just put in a yes, yes, yes. Let's go. Tease. Pillar 3. Most webinars forget to include teasers. It's like a movie. You need a trailer, okay? A trailer that hypes people. Otherwise, they won't watch the entire movie. And if you don't include teasers, leads won't keep watching, because the retention rate will be just so long, because people don't know what to expect, and there isn't something they can wait for, or something like sparking their interest. Okay. So one simple sentence like, by the end of this webinar, you will know exactly how to do XYZ, or you will get XYZ, will massively increase retention. Ideally, what we always do is you already include the tease in the pre-webinar email sequences on the landing page copy. Whatever you're doing, you're already putting it in there. And the ideal structure is you first write your webinar, or write a plan for your webinar, and then you write the email sequences, so that your messaging stays continuous and that they know exactly what they can expect from the webinar. Okay. Convert your audience's struggle into an outcome-driven promise. You're currently struggling with, let's say, generating leads for your high ticket offer. Well, after this exact video, for example, or workshop or whatever it is, you will know exactly, you'll have the exact blueprint to my traffic acquisition system that has generated us XYZ in the past. Okay. Tell them exactly what they can expect after attending this workshop. And a bonus point, what we always like to do is we use free deliverables, raffles for a one-on-one call. Okay. And we're all in a raffle for a one-on-one call with me. I'm giving it away for free if you stay until the webinar. Everyone who attends until the webinar will get it, right? And we're just following up with them through mail, or dropping the link in the chat or whatever. Or a special SOP that we'll give away at the end to keep retention high. A PDF, a video course, something like that, okay? So be sure to include teasers to make your retention rates look like this. And this is like literally a webinar that we ran 3 days ago. And you can see the retention curve is quite high. Okay. This is like where the pitch is happening. And then of course, this was a direct to checkout webinar where we instantly dropped in the price. Also, like obviously price entered it. But yeah. So the drop off comes from the pitch, but as you can see, retention pretty strong. I think it was around 80%. So can you now see how big a role teasers play in the presentation? Well, yes or no? Let me know in the chat. Okay. Amazing. I'm seeing the chat. Let's go. Well, pillar 4, future pacing or excitement. When you don't future pace, the audience underestimates the possible transformation that you're selling. You lower your offer's perceived value, especially emotional value, okay? And you keep scratching the surface and never even address their real buying motivation. Future pacing creates excitement and momentum toward action. And as you can see down there below is Maslow's pyramid of needs, hierarchy of needs. And as you can see, first of all, there will be the psychological needs, air, water, food, shelter. Then people will crave for safety, health, security, employment, resources. Okay. Next is belonging. And this is already something you can target with a community or with a real mission that you're selling. And then, of course, the well-known esteem, respect, recognition, self-esteem. You want to drive that Bugatti for any reason. Okay. And so, yeah, this is the next thing that you can target in there. This is the deeper motivation behind people's actions. Okay. And then there's self-actualization, desire to become the most that one can be, or desire to actually live your relationship with God. While future pacing lets them see the end result clearly, uncertainty drops and confidence rises. Future pacing turns understanding into desire because they can see themselves living in the results. It gives them clarity about where they're going and connects with their deep desires we've been talking about. Clearly illustrate what their reality, their new day-to-day would look like once they implement what you're teaching. Highlight the personal, emotional, and lifestyle shifts that come with such a success. engage their desires, describe what they will feel, hear, smell, experience, see, and experience on the other side, because the grass is greener there, right? Show how this future eases their pain points that frustrate them right now. So kind of like creating these two sides of the bridge, okay? And you position your offer as the bridge that separates their current situation from the dream outcome. They just need to buy. Well, here's how to future pace effectively. Remember, the exact copy is highly dependent on your ICP's deeper buying reasons. But what you can say, for example, is after implementing whatever you're teaching, whatever you're offering, you can finally build a second income stream, pay off the mortgage, support your family, go on vacation with kids, buy a new car, right? This really depends on whoever you're selling to. As you can see, this would be like a more B2C approach, okay? If you're selling to businesses, this could be lower your response rates, all right? Reduce your data load, fire two workers or whatever, because we're handling the rest, or automations or whatever, okay? You'll see how skipping this part, how skipping future pacing makes your presentation feel generic. Drop a yes in the chat if you can do. See a lot of yeses coming. Cool. Well, let's get to pillar 5, positioning. And we see so many business owners messing this up, which is incredible because positioning is everything. It sets you apart from all the other hundreds of businesses that are in your niche. Why should someone buy from you what makes you unique? What's special about the approach or service that you're selling? Why should I buy a BMW when I could buy a Volkswagen, or when I could buy a whatever other car is out there, right? Why an Audi, whatever, like why should I do it, right? What positions you in a unique situation? You need to answer all of these questions in the presentation. Why are you the only person in the niche that's uniquely qualified to help them? Demonstrate your authority. You're the expert for this exact solution for their exact problem. And I love this illustration over there because you can see what competitors do well, what customers want, and what you do well. And this is your USP. Okay. Show a spectrum of results. Back up every single claim you make with top success, typical results, and recent wins. Use as many as possible. Share your personal journey. This makes you feel real and touchable, okay, tangible. Where you started, what you learned, how you got to where you are right now, and what got you there. Probably the vehicle, okay. Highlight your method as well. This is exactly what I've been talking about, okay. Why is your unique approach superior to your competitors? Explain why you're sharing this now and why your audience should trust you. Show confidence while staying approachable. I reckon that it wasn't always even for you easy for you. Show authenticity and be as real as it gets. What you can also do is after the webinar, so in the FAQ section, you get in a student and do an interview with him, like something like handle the FAQs with him. This shows lots of trust, or a client or a student or whatever, okay? Break the why are you teaching this belief. Openly acknowledge that you're making money from this webinar. People will probably already know this. We even target this objection like, if it works so well, why are you teaching this? Okay. We're already targeting this in the emails normally. But also mention the real other motivation behind it, because sure, all of us want to make money from this, but maybe you also enjoy helping others, or it's incredibly fulfilling for you to help inspire them, or whatever reason there is that why you love what you're doing right now. Craft unique names for every sub-mechanism that you're teaching, okay? Help people understand that they failed because they didn't have access to your unique approach. It should sound new, okay, and make sense and be logical. Some unique examples could be a unique mechanism or sub-mechanism, muscle confusion, or HIIT work, or I don't know how it's called in English, to be honest. funnels, hybrid funnels, VSL funnels. Like a funnel is basically a website structure, right? Or let's say another thing for the AI niche, one prompt agency model, my 3-day to launch SaaS framework, or my no-code automation engine, or whatever, right? So make it feel touchable. Maybe this might even be a bit too much, to be honest, but create a cool logical mechanism that makes sense and sparks interest, okay? And seems like something they just didn't have access to. Can you imagine applying such a unique positioning to your own business? Drop a yes in the chat if you can. Perfect. Next is paradigm shift, and this one is incredibly important. Sales is nothing else than shifting beliefs. Okay, this is exactly what we're doing. It's changing the lens leads use to view their problem. A paradigm shift or belief shift changes thinking at the deepest level. It's called an aha moment when a belief shift occurs. Okay, people reframe limitations as opportunities. They understand why prior attempts failed and open up to new solutions. You basically shifting their belief and therefore get cash in the sale. If you skip the section of paradigm shifts, your audience stays trapped in old assumptions, creating sales resistance. They won't believe your strategy will work for them. The transformation feels superficial and your offer feels optional. Show them what they thought was holding them back as a misconception. Break their limiting beliefs, okay? Create the everything I thought I knew is wrong moment that flips their perspective. Break the industry orthodox. Challenge the common advice out there that's keeping them stuck. They probably already tried another service from one of your competitors. What are you doing different? Okay. Show hidden options by eliminating their either or choice and revealing the smarter third path, your path. Here's some concrete ways to implement paradigm shifts. Okay. For example, I could say, not being a natural speaker isn't a barrier to run a webinar. It forces you to use a repeatable system that converts better than charisma alone. Makes sense, right? Every failed webinar wasn't a waste. It showed you exactly what needs to change if you stop making decisions based on the data that you have. Okay. You should now understand how important it is to shift paradigms and limiting beliefs. Well, let's move on to pillar 7. The training, the core, the heart of the webinar. The training is by far the most important part, okay? It is the webinar. It's the heart of it. In the training, you're sharing insane value in a structured form that demonstrates your expertise. The training essentially is your positioning. 85% of webinar presentations do this completely wrong, and I know this because we got into a lot of companies, reviewed their presentation, and we was like, this is your training? Like, damn, bro, this is a big pitch, okay? Like, we've literally seen webinars that were just like a pitch, like kind of like 20 minutes training and then pitch. And then they're wondering why they have low conversion rates. Because the training section works only if you're sharing unique insight, okay? Maybe like a big pitch webinar works for warmer leads who are already warmed up from your previous content, but it's not a format that you can run reliably on repeat and never ever with cold traffic. Just imagine you sign up for a workshop and someone, instead of sharing you value about what you expected, is just pitching you, and you don't even know this person. Would you buy? I wouldn't. Share as much information as possible in a 45-minute trade. Give away everything, like a lot. If your actual service is good, you won't ever be possible to fit all of this in a 45-minute presentation, okay? And this will make leads understand your expertise and will excite them for what you actually sell. Just think about it. A bad training section, it's more yapping than actual information, casts serious doubt on what you're actually offering. If you can't deliver real valuable insights during the webinar, why would anyone feel confident buying your actual offer? So how do we write a valuable training, you might be asking? Determine 3 to 5 pillars of what you're teaching that a beginner must understand and implement to start seeing their desired outcomes. If you could only teach 3 things, what would that be? The pillars should maintain a logical flow, building up on each other and stabilizing the entire house on different kernels. Each one should be important, okay? Try to simplify things and teach what actually matters. And this one is crucial. I just made a video about that, targeting app messaging, but it's also crucial for the entire funnel messaging. Know your audience's awareness level. Like literally, if you get this wrong, the entire webinar flops. Are you talking to complete beginners who don't even know about the idea, business model, service that you're offering? Okay. Or are you talking to other businesses or warmer leads who already know the basics or even more advanced stuff, but just need more insights? Like if I would write a webinar and I would write a webinar for a beginner, let's say, I'm breaking down how, let's say, what could be Amazon FBA works. But these are already sellers on Amazon FBA, and they're like, man, why are you explaining me the business model? I just wanted to know your special method for getting reliable suppliers because I'm currently struggling with suppliers, right? Know their pain points and their awareness level. Do some customer research, do WhatsApp polls. I have a whole video on this and I'm going to make a new one. So this is highly crucial. Then for each pillar, follow the structure. What is it? What happens without it? Why does it matter? Get to the so what moment. Like when you're teaching this pillar and your customer might be thinking, yeah, so what? Why should I even care? Handle this objection. Why does it matter so much? Okay. How to implement it. Be practical, make it practical and doable. Share your screen, okay? Back it up with success, student wins, and get their commitment. In the live training, as I said, share your screen, make it feel live, respond to questions in the chat, go off script, and add spontaneous insights. If there's anything coming into your mind, you don't need to follow the script always. This makes a webinar feel real and live, and this is what it's all about, to build trust and convert even more leads, okay? And each mechanism with commitment. Does this make sense, for example? Or can you see how this would work for you? Get a yes letter to build momentum. By now, I think you should have a good understanding of how to write an appealing training section that actually matters. Am I right? Drop a yes in the chat. Amazing, amazing, cool. We're on the same page. Well, next is the actual transition. The transition from the training to the actual pitch, okay? Well, a soft and smooth transition from the actual training to the pitch is crucial. We call this a bridge statement. Recap their entire journey, what they've learned over the last hour, and emphasize that it was completely free. Go hard on reciprocity, okay? Let them feel that you did the webinar because you genuinely wanted to help them. And that is probably true. Get their commitment. Was this valuable for so far? You feel confident to start implementing this for your own business? Does everything make sense? Are we on the same page? Get their commitment. And then smoothly transition to a crossroad option. Show them what they could now, that they could now definitely go out there and do it on their own, but also emphasize that there's another faster and better win-win option for you and them. Show them that they could work with you, skip years of trials and error, guesswork, and have a step-by-step blueprint that like literally crushes every obstacle because they will be guided by you, and emphasize the pain of doing it all on their own. And show, just mention, explain why you started offering your service. Okay, why did you start doing this? Who did you help in the past? What was the motivation behind it? This is the time for massive proof. Show tons of results of people who decided to work with you and use them as objection breakers. And then ask for permission. Do I have your permission to break down the special offer I prepared for you? Then I will put a yes in the chat. And then you transition to the offer. Okay, pillar 9. The offer is the moment of truth, where conversion happens. Okay, A strong offer communicates exactly why your program is worth it and why the audience should take action now. Position your offer in a way that increases perceived value and makes it feel like a no-brainer, okay? Without a well-structured offer, people won't fully understand your value, and it's not about the actual value, it's about the perceived value, as in the stock market, okay? Your program seems generic and confusing if you get this wrong. And your entire webinar will fail if you get this wrong, okay? And you won't get that many conversions. Give your offer a unique name that sparks desire and aligns with your messaging. Avoid generic names. This is your positioning again, your brand. Condense the full value of your offer into a single sentence. Make it so easy that an 8-year-old can understand what you're offering. Or you're at the grocery store, right? And someone is asking you, yo, what are you doing, man, by the way? And you say something like, I help e-commerce brand owners reduce their ad spend by 50% in 45 days using my UGC affiliate formula. And they're like, oh, got you. Okay, I help X do Y using Z in T time. Then list every core highlight with a compelling headline. Each should have 3 to 4 benefit-focused bullet points. We humans, for any reason, if I could say you, look, I have a implementation program. And I could say you, look, I have this module in the implementation program, then another special model, then another network in there, and another XYZ in there, making it feel tangible, right? And people will actually, the perceived value, the perception will increase. List advantages, benefits, and meaning. What would it mean for them to have this deliverable? Don't only name the features, okay? This was like main thing also for sales, for your sales team. List the benefits and what it would actually mean for them in their day-to-day life if they had access to your offer, and back it up with instant proof. Relate the offer components to their pain points. Present each deliverable as a solution. Show the journey step by step by step, okay? Where are they now? Where will they be after your program? And how will your program be the only thing that gets them there? Okay, nice and easy. Emphasize lifestyle and emotional outcomes and not just business metrics, depending who you're talking to be honest, okay? If you're talking more B2B, yeah, you could still do it, but, business owners will probably won't care. So, price entry. That's the next thing. Like, you've done your offer, you've emphasized why they should do it right now, and then you price enter. There's a lot of different thoughts on price entering. To be honest, it has always worked well for us, and that's why we're doing it. What is it worth for you? What do others charge for it? What do you normally charge? And then make a special webinar offer. It's really time to take money, make the offer feel one-sided in favor of your customer, and emphasize a crazy ROI. Okay. Then instantly back up the price with a risk reversal. You guarantee no questions asked, 7-day refund, or we could work with you one-on-one until you make your investment back. But it feel like a no-brainer because you can't actually fail. To be honest, we don't always drop the price. We drop a price range because we actually have different offers and different services for our clients. So what we do, like when we're writing a webinar for our clients, is like generally kind of emphasize a minimum investment that they need to have to make sure our sales team's calendars aren't full of bullshit leads, and put them through a Typeform application form, qualify them again, and emphasize that they need at least, for example, multiple 4-figure USD to make this investment happen. You can also drop the price, and if you're running a direct-to-call webinar, as we did last week, you should probably do it. Well, this is where you pitch the first time. Then you transition to your free bonuses that should crush every single objection your ICP could have. The bonuses are only available for webinar attendees and should feel more valuable than the offer itself. It's like, all right, you have problems finding suppliers, you will get access to our supplier experts, for example. Okay. Apply scarcity, make some bonuses or discounts only available for X people. Reward action takers. Bonus examples could be network access, a PDF guide, a one-on-one strategy call, special program modules, developer pool access, done for you, whatever, okay, software access, special discounts. Great bonus. And put on a lot, okay. You just normally do like around 6 bonuses. Pitch again. Go hard on scarcity and urgency. Humans won't act until they have a clear deadline. And back scarcity up with real reasons. Be real, okay? It takes a lot of resources from me and my team to offer a done-for-you solution and maintain free access to my personal supplier experts. Go hard on the pain of inaction and back it up with proof. Reward action takers and crush every single "I will think about it" objection, okay? Like literally. And as I said, back it up with a risk reward. Okay, so this could be a guarantee, like a no questions asked 7-day refund, or we keep working with you one-on-one or whatever. Okay, and you emphasize it again. This is the reason why we apply the scarcity, for example. Okay. Then the next thing would be pitch again. Handle common objections, use even more proof, and summarize the offer once again with a value stack. Okay, here's what you're getting: X, Y, Z, bonus, discount, guarantee. And that's it. That's the webinar. End the webinar with an objection handling FAQ and an open Q&A, and address common objections like, what is your client success rate? Can I do this alongside work or school? Do you have payment plans available? How long does it take to see results? And what are the running costs of it? And many more FAQs. And as I said, this is the time where you could get in a client to handle this FAQs with you. And congratulations, you now have the exact 9-step framework. The exact framework, like literally, we use to write 6-figure webinars. Now let me know in the chat, was this valuable for you so far? Do you feel that now, after learning about these 9 phases, you're in a better position to write your next very own webinar and crush it? Cool. Amazing. What are the first things, let me know, you would do if you were making multiple 5-6 figures from every single webinar, right? And basically have a sales asset that you can repeat every single week or month. Would you go on a family vacation, buy a new car, expand your business, okay? Or invest into real estate? Let me know. All right, okay, cool. John says he wants to head on a trip to Bali. All right, cool. Nice. Well, I think the only thing right now is the only thing that's left right now is to get going. And the way I see it, you have 3 options in front of you right now. Path 1, you do nothing with what you've learned today. You stay where you are, you keep ignoring the massive opportunity of webinar funnels, and stay way below your offer's potential. You wake up in 2 years regretting that you didn't start hosting webinars. Path 2 is you try to do it alone, and this is definitely possible. You piece together free advice like this video. You waste months or years on trial and error and costly mistakes, burn time and money on ads, for example, on webinars that for any reason just don't seem to work. Or you leverage our experience and let us help you and partner together on a win-win partnership. We do everything done for you. You can focus on your highest leverage tasks. Okay. You only need to show up 2 hours to host a presentation and have real experts like us handle your entire campaign. We implement the exact system that has generated multiple 6 figures for our clients in the past. You can by all means make it alone, but implementing an entire webinar funnel is super tough. The truth is that most high-ticket businesses never succeed if they try and do everything on their own. They stumble around, make expensive mistakes, hire irresponsible agencies, neglect customer success fulfillment and content, and then give up because they are lacking guidance, clarity, and a proven implementation system for a webinar funnel. Well, the truth is, the presentation and the 9-step framework is the heart of the webinar funnel, yeah. But without arms, legs, and eyes to see, the body can't go anywhere. And there's a lot more that makes a webinar successful, and the presentation is only a small part of it. So this is exactly why we've specialized done for you webinar funnels and conversion systems. Why we're offering this, right? And our results speak for themselves. As I said, we've just made $135,000 with one webinar, for example, generated $167K in revenue, right? Mainly cold webinar. We just recently ran another cold webinar with over 6,000 registrants and 2,000 live attendees, completely cold. Okay. And we're actively working with businesses doing 350K in revenue every single month. Our clients seem to love what we're doing for them. Let's look at this. Okay. If I have your permission to talk about the exact services that we're offering to high ticket businesses like you, drop a yes in the chat. Perfect. Let's move on. Well, here's exactly what we do. We install the entire traffic acquisition system first. So, organic content copywriting, webinar aligned pillar content designed to warm up traffic, platform native copy that reinforces messaging, which is on YouTube, on Instagram, on X, whatever you use. We announce and launch the webinar there with around like 40-day launch phase. Okay. We have post Andromeda quality lead ad messaging. So we basically install a cold campaign if that's something you want to do, if you want to scale your business with ads, okay, beyond organic content, which would be we set up a campaign with 25 to 30 video and static ads that are written by hand. Yeah, really by hand and not by Claude AI, okay, that are tailored to your different customer segments. Why by hand? Because the registration ads are so important and they need to be dialed in, really written by a human person, okay. We do the media buying, we set up the campaign, the tracking, and flexible ad spend adjustments. Like we double down on winning angles, remove bad ones. Look which kind of leads are we getting in right now through the campaigns, and which are the angles that actually lead to conversions. Okay. We designed the landing pages with premium design, including lead magnets and high converting copy. Okay. Like everything, like registration page, registered page, thank you page, order bump page, replay page, literally every single thing. And we're split testing them. We install all the backend automations. So all the custom automations, show workflows, whatever we need to capture lead data, no matter what CRM, email service provider, or software you're using. We literally take care of the entire traffic acquisition and keep funnel messaging consistent, tailored to attract high quality leads with money. This is especially true for ads and ad messaging, what we've recently just specialized in. Okay. An optimized acquisition system is the biggest bottleneck you have because it determines how many leads actually enter your pipeline and how qualified they are. If your acquisition system is flawed, your presentation will have less and less leverage because it will talk to less people and lower quality people, which is why post Andromeda ad messaging and creative testing and setting up a real good campaign to lower your cost per lead and essentially lower your cost per acquisition is so fundamental. Next, we do the show up system implementation. We'll make sure leads show up as warm as possible. Okay. We install a 20 high value email plus SMS show up flow that's completely tailored to your offer. And these aren't like bullshit emails that are written by AI. These are like real emails that address different objections that your real customers have every single time and crush them pre-webinar. We script and implement 25 to 30 hammer them nurture ads to replicate the organic sales process. That means once an ad, someone signs up from an ad, they will get targeted with these hammer them ads and will get nurtured through educational content, testimonials, objection handling, and we're basically replicating the organic sales process that like as if they would just enter your YouTube, for example, and watch through your videos. Okay, and we're implementing this basically through a Hammer campaign. So content retargeting ads. Okay, we host WhatsApp groups, which we just had 5,000 members in a WhatsApp group. So 5 WhatsApp group of 1,000 members in the last webinar, where we steadily post valuable content and nurture leads even more. And WhatsApp groups are a game changer. We implement order bumps. So upsells, like someone like a VIP ticket, right, to liquidate ad spend as well, and optimize normally also for this conversion events. Now, why does the show up system matter? After selling the registration, you need to sell the show up. Your show up system determines how many leads will show up and how warm they will be. A good show up system pre-sells the lead on what you're actually offering. Okay. Then we script and design the entire presentation for you. Okay. Before we're doing that even, we conduct a deep offer and ideal customer research We tailor the 200 to 300 slide presentation to your ideal customer. Okay. We adapt it to your brand and design preferences, and we'll host a webinar and moderate it with you. This is important. You're not sitting there all on your own. We actually with you. We show you how Webinar Jam works, because Webinar Jam is like just the gold standard in there. And we make sure the retention stays up to 80 to 85%. We handle the chat, we moderate it, we put in the links, we publish the offer, literally everything. And yeah, right. By now, after watching this video, you should see what a dialed in done for you presentation can look like for you. Okay. And this will help us massively improve booking and conversion rates. We'll make sure the webinar itself delivers and will take care of technical issues. We literally design you a custom 6-figure webinar to make sure retention stays up. Like there, for example, as you can see, retention pretty strong and just went down after the pitch. Okay. Then also we implement a 7-day follow-up system, and 15 to 20% of the sales actually happen in this follow-up campaign. We promote normally 3 to 4 days of replay promo, which is email sequences, WhatsApp net assets nurturing, replay page. Okay. We retarget, we use retargeting ad campaigns like book call ads, for example, with tailored objection handling copy to get leads of the fans who didn't book from the webinar. We do manual follow-ups, which could be post-webinar setting, dialing no-shows, failed payments, or follow-up with attendees. In general, DM setting on WhatsApp or on Instagram. Like as I said, the money is there in the follow-ups. Okay, follow-ups engage leads who didn't attend and convert skeptical buyers. The webinar replay itself turns to a highly valuable asset that you can implement in your current existing workflows. You can literally like plug it into your current email workflow and use it as a 2-hour masterclass asset that you can use over and again, essentially also in your VSL funnel for the pre-call show-up sequences. An optimized follow-up system will literally make you 20% more money. As you can see, use a small logic, no show, attended webinar, and then we tailor different emails to them, of course, right? And on top of that, what we're also doing for you is sales team management. We'll hire and manage a team of setters and closers if it's needed. Okay. In general, all of these deliverables are the entire service that we're offering, okay, in its entirety. But probably we'll just need a snippet of this. Okay. This is how we're actually doing our services. Like maybe you already have a good dial-in sales team, but if you don't, we have the opportunity to hire and manage a team of setters and closers. We set up sales, the sales related Slack automations, end of day reports. Okay. And we implement best sales team practices. So if your closers are currently not using iMessage, selfie videos, objection tailored sales assets that they send to them pre-call, or if your setters aren't creating WhatsApp or Telegram groups with the actual close and they aren't pre-calling them to triage them, for example, this is something we implement right now because this is where the actual money is at. Okay. And both my business partner and me, we come from a sales background, so we quite experienced in there. Okay. A good sales team is insanely valuable. This is where the actual money is at, right? And the amount of bad salespeople that we've seen over offers is insane. If your sales team is fat cat closers, you will leave money, big money on the table. And we can see this through the close rates, right? Take advantage of our experience and the networks and the best practices. This is what we can do for you, okay? And as a special bonus, something what we're doing as well, as VSL funnel implementation. A VSL funnel is always good to have, as I explained earlier with the right wing and left wing player in football, for example, right? And what we basically do is database conversion rate optimization. We look into your current VSL funnel if you already have one and see where the drop off. What could we do better to reduce drop offs, right, and increase over the conversion rates? We build the entire VSL funnel for you as well, including a VSL copy, landing pages, automations, show-up systems, follow-up systems, and no-show systems if you're setting them on a call, what I would recommend if you're selling high ticket. We do VSL tailored media buying, so we set up a custom ad campaign or follow-up retargeting campaign after the webinar. So what we can always do is we run a webinar and then we retargeting these attendees and sending them to the VSL funnel, right? There are literally tons of low converting VSLs, okay? So you might be causing right now click-offs in your funnel you aren't aware of. A good VSL is a 24/7 asset and highly, highly valuable. We love VSLs, even though we specialize in webinars. Because compared to a webinar funnel, for us, a VSL is a light and set and scale approach. We can literally set this up in one day for you, okay? A webinar funnel with weekly recurring webinars is much more work. But also, therefore, nurtures leads better in general, okay? As I said, left wing and right wing play. Then, what we always do, and what most people out there neglect, is data-based improvements. After every single webinar, we analyze the full data set using UTM-based campaign tracking to identify bottlenecks. We have an entire track sheet, and yeah, we're doing it in Google Sheets because we could build, and we actually have fancy calculators, but a good old simple Google Sheet is so helpful. Okay, we track it. Look, what ads did they come from? What sources did they come from? Which messaging resonated? Which messaging actually led to conversions? Okay, and based on these insights, we make targeted adjustments to the systems that need optimization. This includes landing page design split testing, copy split testing, headline split testing, hero section split testing, and a consistent flow of fresh creatives and angle split testing. Your database is your compass. If you ignore it, you're wandering in the dark, making decisions that don't take you anywhere. Solid UTM tracking and cross-reference across the ads, across the attendees, across the book calls, across the conversions give you clarity and direction. And we're actually there. We'll keep you updated. This is very, very, very important. We are actually there, okay? We'll keep you updated every single day on ad performance or conversion rates and possible improvements. What we're doing as an agency, we're looking for long-term partners, okay, who want a true win-win relationship. Our goal is to provide as much value as we can for you. And we're not like hopping from one client to another. We really want to establish a long-term presentation if there's a good fit. And we'd be amazing partners if you are truly invested in running six-figure webinars or running a VSL funnel with us or whatever we are offering in there, what I broke down earlier, right? And if you're committed, communicative, and provide all the onboarding data that we need you to provide us, we actually have an entire onboarding structure. And we're asking for exactly what we want, okay? We also need clear marketing directions for you, and we'll ask for them. That we need to tailor the entire messaging in a way that resonates with you and your personal brand, okay? Or your business. And if we don't get what we need to make this happen, when we ask for it various times, we simply can't deliver the desired results, and then we probably won't be a good fit to work together. Again, here's everything included when you decide to work with us. The traffic acquisition system, show-up system, 200+ slide presentation plus moderating, follow-up and replay sequence, sales team management, database improvements, VSL funnel setup, and conversion optimization. This is everything we offer for you, and whatever you need from there can do for you, right? So if that sounds like you and you would like to work together with us, guys, click the link in the description of this video and write me on Instagram, Simon.Asman, okay? Or schedule a call with me at growinginfo.com, my homepage. So basically just click the link below there if you want to directly hop on a call and we can chat, okay? And also, I didn't forget it, if you want to get the 30 winning webinar hooks that I was teasing before, write me the keyword hooks on Instagram, okay? And I'll send you them. Okay. Thank you for watching. You're now in a far better position to go out there and write your first six-figure webinar.